Here's Jack. Here's Jack. Here's Jack. Here's Jack. Here's Jack.
From Ozaukee County to your smartphone, tablets, rotary phone. We actually broadcast to rotary phones now. It's
Really?
the Jack Henke. Yes, very difficult to patch that one in.
I'm in the Rotary Club, and
Yes,
I think the analogy is fitting.
It's the Jack Henke Show. It's Monday. We are in our positions, sitting down, facing forward, which is my favorite position.
Hey, God, you're getting creepy already. Oh, God. I want to unsee that.
Too late. Anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome in, everybody. Jack, what was your weekend like, eh?
Good. It's gone. By the time
That is a definite.
by the time Monday comes around, and I always, and anybody asks about that, I always feel like it's so far in the rear view that it's hard for me to go back. I'm trying to think of.
No. Let's go way back in time. Back to a time long remembered. Saturday and Sunday.
Yes. Well,
it's not like I'm opening up the Dead Sea Scrolls here, Jack.
Yeah.
You know?
I worked a lot
no.
this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yep.
all right.
Well, it was good stuff. It was good. It was good work.
I did not. I had a pretty darn good weekend. It was one of those great picture perfect weekends where you have not a whole lot on your plate and you respond accordingly.
There you go. You did it well.
I
I had a lot of good coffee. Had
Me too.
watched some basketball, which was fun. The Final Four. One of the games was good.
I
The
watched
women's
baseball.
final. How did the Brewers do? Well, let's ask AJ.
Don't look. Hey, I don't do union violations on Monday. Okay, we got a guy for that.
we got a guy for that, and your dad is doing well.
Yesterday was good. You know, when you have someone in that position, good days and bad days, and yesterday was a good day. And so, we're just grateful for that.
People were asking me. I said, "Well, his father requested that you smuggle contraband into him, so that's a good sign."
And I did. Although
Yes.
I got into a little bit of trouble. He was on some sort of liquid restrictions because of some tests they were going to run yesterday and today. But I stopped. I'm getting a jump on everything here, so I stopped at the Java House on the way in. And to underscore that Lisa's essentially this town's Willy Wonka.
Lisa Wonka.
You get nothing.
Yeah. Good day, sir.
I guess that makes you Slugworth.
Oh man!
But no, you should have seen how my dad, his face, his entire countenance brightened the minute I walked in. He saw that Java House logo on a cup.
Excellent.
So that was a good thing. So the Java House brings smiles.
Speaking, I made my own. I'm schlogging myself today, though. Yeah. And Blackie is amazing. He'll hear me grinding the beans.
Yeah.
And he starts to come alive. And then as soon as he hears that when I'm using the AeroPress, which is the finest way in the world to make coffee, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I should switch to that. I still have my old bun drip here. And
well, anything will do. When you gotta have it, you gotta have it. But
in a pinch.
AeroPress is not that expensive, and it
it
takes about 4 minutes to make 1 cup of coffee. You got to be ready for that. So,
but it tastes so good. That's, and eventually I love that's the best part about coffee is the ritualization of it all. So that'll be a great 4 minutes for me.
It's fantastic.
Knowing what's on the flip side of that 4 minutes.
Right. What else would you be doing that could be more valuable than making a great cup of coffee?
Well, I'm not going to talk about that anyway.
Well, yeah, God, don't do that again. Let's talk about Lisa for a minute.
Let us.
So usually we start with Mr. Bob's, but I'm sure he would not mind. But tonight well, we'll get to that in a second. Lisa is the owner, and she and her husband Dan have been the owners of Java House for 4.5 years.
Yes,
that's a pretty good poke. That's a long time.
In American business, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and small business especially.
Yeah.
So there is a school board race going on, I hear.
I heard something about that. Yes.
Yes.
Well, on April 5th, guess what? None of it matters.
That's right. Is the election tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or is it next week?
April 4th is what they tell me.
Okay. All right. So there's an election tomorrow, and one of the candidates has been embroiled in a controversy, it sounds like, of his own making.
Yes.
But that candidate used to 4.5 years ago, prior owner of the Java House.
Speaking of the Dead Sea Scrolls, that was a long time ago.
Exactly. But some numbnuts out there cannot read an entire article that's 3 paragraphs long, I might add, and they think he's still the owner. Well, no, and it's
nothing
like
to do with that business whatsoever.
The anti-former owner is basically owning the Java House now. It's a place. What did you call it yesterday? A safety and inclusion, or what?
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, you go in there. Anybody who goes in there for the first time, you're only a first timer there for about 2 minutes, because then you're just like, this is my coffee shop now.
Less if you happen to run into Lisa.
Right. Yes.
And the trick Lisa always has, she'll say, hey, how are you? Yeah, fine. And then you automatically say, fine, how are you? And as soon as you say that, as soon as the words how are you escape your lips, you're like an old friend with Lisa.
Yeah, you're essentially a political prisoner at that point, because you're not going anywhere.
You're adopted.
You're adopted, right?
Because she will tell you anything and everything. So there's the Wakes. It's the Wakes. You betcha.
Absolutely.
But it's a great place, and it's a safe place, and couldn't have better owners now, both as far as the culture, and also the place was really starting to get run down a little. They've invested a lot into just re-beautifying it. It's a cool old building, but old buildings are old buildings, and it's hard to keep them up. So they're doing a hell of a job. So kudos to the Java House,
absolutely,
and Lisa and Dan, and get over it.
And they're incredible staff. I mean,
yes,
she hires well. I mean, everyone who's either passed through that place and moved on to other places or is still there, they're all just friendly, and they are such ninjas back there on the big old machine there, that scares the hell out of me, but they seem to be good with it. So.
They had one hiring blip when they hired Margot years ago, but she's turned in her barista name tag, so she's not.
She has indeed. I bet she misses it though. I bet she misses it. Every barista I've ever talked to always like, those were the best days.
Well, she'll say, it's funny you say that. She'll say, we'll go in there and we'll leave, because I miss working here, and I don't miss working here. It's like any job. You think you only remember the good stuff. You don't remember the
silver linings are amazing, aren't they?
We're dealing with the public, and stuff's going to happen. But it is a great, and I'm glad she did it. It really helped her because she is a shy person at first, but not. Once she starts, she's like Lisa, kind of. In that
Actually, I can't believe I neglected to show this during our Java House discussion. Whoops, I got to find the right button here. Hang on. It's Monday. Where is it? There it is. Off to Instagram for a big peep.
Oh, I saw that.
It's the lemon meringue cremosa with lemon cold foam. What's a cremosa? Well, it's a flavored syrup with sparkling water and a splash of schlag in Jack's World, or cream in ours.
That's right.
They have 65 flavored syrups, 15 of which are sugar-free.
Oh, that's another thing.
Madness.
Yeah, it's also, our own Dr. Ben, whom we love mucho, has a fit about Starbucks. I mean, he goes off, you get him on a Starbucks rant, and he just is gone.
Not a fan.
Yeah. Lisa has alternatives to the heavy calorie stuff, so they can do a lot of things. So that's another good thing. But
she has stuff there that will extend your life.
Yes, like the Golden Moon milk.
Yes, it's been a while. I gotta get one of those today.
Today's the day. Today is the day, and it's a good gloomy day for one.
Yeah,
for this afternoon.
Golden. Yeah.
Okay. We got. Actually, after the show, I'm hustling off to join Patty Galoon Hansen for a photo op at the high school with the Stella Weber, the winner of the Facets Design a Ring contest.
Are you going the way you are now? Just curious.
Yes.
I just want to see the smoke come out of your ears. That's all.
I got nothing. What you see is
that's how you're going.
What you see is what you get.
All right.
I got the logo. I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna lead in front of Stella.
Did Jack grow boobs? What's going on here?
Yeah, so that's going on. Tonight is a drop-off night for Mr. Bob, still in search in need of bedding and sheets, please. Yes. I made a successful run out there. I have to tell you, Mr. Bob's, they restore your faith in humanity in a lot of ways. And one of the ways is they have so many young people out there. When I say youngsters, I mean like I have
for us that's under 40.
Right, exactly. But you can tell they're teenagers. Okay, yeah. So they're teenagers. They're nice kids. They're there helping. They're there on a Thursday night, working, doing that kind of volunteering. It's great to see. So another feather in Mr. Bob's hat for that. So please, MrBobsUnderTheBridge.org. Check it out for things you can donate. Cash is always welcome and appreciate it. Mel's got the river run. It's tax day. It's on April 15th.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And our own celebrity here, can't go anywhere without AJ drawing a crowd, is going to be at the finish line of the Mel's River Run this year.
Excellent.
Yeah, and he has no audio, so I'm going to have to give him a call in a couple minutes.
Oh,
we're going to do the visual audio. Yes, hold the phone.
I kind of like that. Actually, I'm getting into that now. It's sort of it adds an urgency to his report.
It adds an urgency. All right, you add an urgency.
Well, I do what I can.
Today is interesting national days. You might know this one. I want to know if you know this one, Bulldog. Mm-hmm. It is National Fish Fingers and Custard Day. Have you ever heard of such a thing? There's a reason I ask, a logical reason, besides just that you might like it. It sounds disgusting.
It sounds horrifying, yes.
It's celebrated annually on April 3rd. This legendary sequence from the British science fiction television program Doctor Who served as the inspiration for this holiday. In the scene, Matt Smith's 11th Doctor enjoys fried fish sticks with vanilla custard dip. Even while this may seem like a weird and slightly disgusting mix, many admirers decided to give it a whirl. This new meal was so popular that the BBC, the channel that aired the show, decided to devote an entire day to promoting it. So have you ever heard? You're a Doctor Who guy, right?
I am, but I go back to the 70s and 80s version, and Matt Smith is a current, a more current Doctor Who, and therefore I don't know much about it. I didn't, which is a shame because I hear they're really good episodes, and I should really catch up on my Whovian.
So even as a geek, you disappoint me.
Yes. I am a disappointing geek. Believe me, amongst my own people, I'm a disappointment.
My own people. Don't start with me. Don't get me started. All right. It's also National Chocolate Mousse Day.
Ooh, yummy. I like that.
Do you? Have you ever had? Yeah.
Hey ho, itty bitty, chitty bitty. My Steve. The
Bullwinkle.
About to speak.
Squirrel and moose.
Mr. Know-it-all. Hey, I gotta tell you, interesting on the Bullwinkle front, which sounds weird. Amazon about I'm gonna say 2 or 3 years ago did a Rocky and Bullwinkle, remake kind of, and everyone kind of groaned and thought, "Oh man, that show! I've seen a couple episodes. That show's really funny. They did a hell of a job. Yeah, it's excellent."
Who created the original? It wasn't. I mean,
a guy named Jay Ward was his name. He was one of you. He was an ad man. Who basically
fucking genius, man.
Of course. Who he was just doing animation for commercials, which was at the time in its infancy, and whenever you got a commercial with a little bit of animation, like bouncing meatballs or something, people be like, "It's incredible!" And so he moved on to make one of the greatest animated shows of all time.
Did he write it?
Oh, Jay Ward was a one-man Renaissance man. Everything,
really?
Yeah, across the board. Yeah, he had his staff of writers, but all the creation, everything was him. It was all him.
And it's not like, have you heard the controversy about Stan Lee?
Oh, what's going on?
It's not new. It's that he I've seen articles over the years where they say he took credit for all the stuff and he didn't do all the stuff.
Sure.
Where do you stand on that? You're a geek with that. What do you think?
Being character assassinated here this morning.
No, God. Ward,
as usual, must be Monday.
As opposed to Tuesday through Friday.
That's a prickly one because Stan Lee was such a steamroller and juggernaut of like comic books, but I mean it's a fair. There's a guy named Jack Kirby who definitely deserves a fair amount of accolades when it comes to the creation of Spider-Man, and Kirby was more of Lee was more of a writer, and Kirby was more of an artist. So I mean, Kirby, and I think Stan probably made some somewhat questionable business choices to cut Kirby out in the long run. So I mean, I can see where that comes from, but
sure.
I mean, there's just no assailing Stan Lee. He's just,
Well, he became such a positive face for the man behind the curtain kind of thing. Yeah. And you got writers never get enough credit. So if the designers get a little screwed, I'm all for it.
Right. So, kind of our topic of the show after AJ today.
Yes.
Speaking of AJ, we probably should get to.
I'm calling him right now.
All right, you do your thing.
Yeah.
I'll talk box office while you're dialing. Number one movie this weekend was Dungeons and Dragons.
You're gonna go to that?
I will eventually. It looks like fun. Chris Pine, looks like a fun go round. And then John Wick 4, number 2, took a bit of a dip, 60% decrease, which isn't terrible in the movie world, but
hey guys,
it's time for sports with AJ. Do your thing. I'm gonna go freshen up my coffee.
Hey guys,
all right, I got the whipped cream. What's going on, Age?
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Good. Can you hear, Bulldog? Oh, wait.
What's going on?
You good? Good morning, AJ.
Morning. How we doing, guys?
AJ sounds ready.
Yes, I am.
It was a big weekend. Go ahead, Bulldog.
Big weekend of Brewers baseball and Bucks basketball.
What was your favorite part of the weekend, sports wise?
It was the Brewer game.
Which one?
No, I'm on the phone.
Oh no, not TJ. Get out of here, Mike. Get out of here.
Wait, football season over.
Do you root for the Twinks too? The Minnesota Twinks?
No, he works for the Brewers. Yeah, I work for the Brewers.
Well, you got that going for you. You almost redeemed yourself.
Yeah, see, I'm Brewers and Bucks fan. I just don't deal with the Packers.
That ain't gonna cut it, TJ.
Hey, I should get credit for having 2 out of the 3.
Well, 66%. That's an F.
Oh man, how y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
All right, we gotta get to this tough stuff. You can come back anytime as long as you admit that there's hope for you. Well, I gotta find like a psychological.
I mean, I might become a Packer fan now since Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Oh. All right, jump in. There's going to be a whole lot of misery coming for us for a few years, but we can handle it. All right, we're due. Good to see you.
All right, y'all take care.
You too. See ya. All right, Age. What your favorite was? Which Brewer game?
Second one.
How did they do yesterday?
They won 8. They won 9-5.
9-5. So they scored some runs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're 2-1.
Yes, sir.
So are they going to go 161-1 then?
No. I'm still sticking my 85, my 87-75 prediction.
Okay, what did you like about what looks good? What has you concerned? Give me the positives and the negatives after one whole weekend. I know it's a long season, but
lots of positives with the rookies. They got 3 of them that contributed. One closed the game out, Gus Marlin. Bryce Terang is the starting second baseman. I like the depth of this team.
Okay.
I like the depth.
Excuse me, Age. Who's the second baseman starting?
Bryce Terang.
And so, what about Arias? Who am I thinking of? Who was there?
Urias?
Yes, Urias.
He's out 6 to 8 weeks.
What's wrong with him?
He hurt his hamstring in his last at bat of first game on Thursday.
God, those hamstrings are something else.
Yeah, they can be grabby. They can be catchy.
What did they do before they even knew what a hamstring was? Can you imagine when Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb were playing? There was no hamstring issues. They were probably just a sore leg or something.
Yeah, right. Just a sore leg, right?
Okay, so the rookies look good. How's that? Yeah. How's that Garrett Mitchell? Is he doing the center field thing?
He still qualifies as a rookie.
Okay, how's he looking out there?
He looks really good. He looks good. They got Joey Weimer in right field. Joey Weimer is another rookie. He started on Saturday, and Sunday.
I haven't heard his name. What? Tell us about him. What is he?
They brought him out. He's from Michigan. He played college ball at Louisville. He's really fast. He's 6'4", and he plays outfield.
Okay. How does he hit?
He got a hit in this first at bat.
Okay. What about who's the guy who's been was a star and then hurt his back and has been Christian Yelich?
Christian Yelich.
What's he doing?
Yeah. He got a couple of hits to start the year.
Does he start? Is he left fielder now?
Yeah, he starts.
Okay. What about your boy from Ozaki High School? Did he play at all?
He started on Saturday.
Okay. How'd he look?
He looked okay. He didn't get a hit. He hit the ball hard twice, though.
Okay. All right. So you're stoked about baseball season being started?
I am. And I'm stoked about the Bucks, too.
Okay. Tell us about the Bucks.
Magic number's 3.
Aren't there 3 games left or so?
They're 5.
5 games left. Okay.
But any combination of a Celtics loss or a Bucks win gets the Magic number down.
Okay. And why is that important?
Because the Magic number gets them home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
Okay. Do you feel, I know for the NBA for a long time that was really a huge deal. It seems like more teams are winning on the opposing courts than used to in the playoffs. Do you feel that is still a decisive advantage?
Only against Boston.
Okay. Because?
I don't want to play a Game 7 in Boston again. We all know what happened last year. For those of you who are new listeners, they played Game 7 in Boston last year after winning Game 5 and losing Game 6, and they got blown out to Game 7. So,
and they had a chance to close it out at home, right?
Yeah, I was working Game 6, but we all know what happened after Game 6, all the violence that happened.
Yep.
It was kind of a crazy scenario, but yeah, they had a chance to close out.
Okay. Well, so you're pumped up about the home team that's just starting their season, the Brewers, and then you're pumped up about the team that's heading into the playoffs. Yes, sir. So the Bucks are in the playoffs no matter what. It's just a matter of if they'll be the number 1 or number 2, right?
They locked themselves into a top 2 seed yesterday.
Okay, I saw Philly started getting it close, but then they kind of got it up to 18 or something or so. Bobby Portis looked really good on both.
Bobby looked really good.
He looked good on both ends of the floor.
The depth of the team is going to really pay off. Grayson got hurt last night, but he'll be all right.
Okay.
Sprained his ankle last night. So.
That's painful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't play till Tuesday now. They play what? So their last 5 games they play Washington, Chicago, Memphis, and 1 more.
So there are 4 games left.
4 games left.
Okay. Memphis is, out of those 3, Memphis is the toughest sounding.
Yeah, but if they wrap it up, they probably don't play anybody on Friday, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Do you think they should still be the favorite to win the title this year?
I don't know. And I'm not giving a biased answer. I don't know. I think the depth is going to be a question. It's going to be what carries them. But I'm not sure. I'm concerned about Boston, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Not as concerned about Philly. They have 2 guys plus Tyrese Maxey. So they have 3 guys that really carry their team. But I'm really concerned about the depth of the team this year. So I don't know. When we were talking about the game, you said they had good depth, but now you're concerned about the depth. Well, I'm concerned if guys get hurt.
Okay.
Chris got hurt against the game against Boston, but came back yesterday.
How did he look?
He looked really good. He had 10 points at halftime.
Okay.
Giannis at 19.5. They have 5 guys in double figures by halftime.
Does Chris Middleton look like he's, when you have all those injuries, you come back, sometimes you're not quite all in, you're kind of favoring one thing or another. How does he look in your opinion? Just forget the points. How does he look, how he's moving around on the court and that kind of stuff?
The gait looks pretty normal. Which is
the gait. Whoa. You've been hanging around with Bulldog too much, for God's sake.
Yeah, the gait looks pretty normal. His running looks pretty normal. His wrist looks pretty normal. He's still got his wrist taped up, but that's just to be expected.
Okay.
I was very involved in Mr. Middleton's rehab, and I taught him how to run like me. So that's why his gait's looking so good.
We want the Bucks to win. We don't want anybody running like you.
All right.
Yeah, right. But yeah, guys, it was a good weekend. We got opening day today. Don't forget.
That's right.
Pre-game coverage starts at noon. Game starts at 1.
Okay.
AJ, I don't know if you covered this already, but over the weekend, did you see any major bright spots or any young kids that we should keep our eyes on?
Yes, Bulldog. Yes, I did. I covered Joey Weimer and Garrett Mitchell and
the second. Who's the second baby?
Bryce Terrain.
Bryce Terrain.
Awesome.
And who's the pitcher?
Gus Marland.
And he closed it. You said.
He closed it on Sunday.
So
nice.
they had 4 rookies that still, some of them played, but they technically qualify as rookies who made an impact against the fucking Cubs, which is good.
Wow. Don't mince words, Jack. What do you really think?
We all thought it. He just said it.
That's right. See, AJ's got my back.
And our status as a family show goes right out the window.
We're on FCC airwaves, so.
As I told Peggy Dobson of the chamber, you can put us on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Okay, there are a few other things going on besides Brewers and Bucks this past weekend, AJ.
Yeah, the San Diego State game. I was out with my brother watching that game.
Yeah.
It was really good. I didn't catch the end because I missed the end because of I was going from the restaurant and establishment to my house.
Okay.
So good game. UConn looks like the favorite tonight. I'll take UConn tonight. I know that's probably an obvious choice after they look against Miami, but I'll take UConn by 6.
2 reasons I want San Diego State to win because they're such an underdog, but
yeah, Steve is a good coach too.
I don't hate the overlord for once. That UConn, I like their coach, what he's been through, what he's overcome, and I also like that if they win, the last team to have beaten them this year will be who?
Marquette.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Marquette beat them in the conference tournament. They haven't lost since.
Yes, sir.
So that's another reason to root for the Huskies of UConn.
I got a bone to pick with the NCAA.
Okay.
What is with this 8:20 start, man? It's ridiculous, man. 8:20. I mean, come on, man. I don't want to stay up for the game. I don't want to fall asleep halfway through. Hey, you starting at 9:20 Connecticut time? That's ridiculous, man. Come on, no.
Is that some sort of West Coast telecast thing or something? What's the point?
They're an East Coast network. What's the point?
Uh-oh. The high octave has been reached by AJ's voice. You can tell when he's really worked up.
Well, New York is, the city that never sleeps, so I guess it's okay.
There's no one from New York in it. There's UConn.
Well,
UConn's home base is big. UConn's second home is Madison Square Garden, so it should be at 6:20. It should be at the West Coast time, but they don't want to watch it at 4:20 in San Diego. So rant's over. We're good to go.
No, I can't let a good rant lie like that. Yeah, Margot was just complaining about that yesterday too. She said, "What time does the game start?" I said, "Like 8 or 8:30." They usually. What? She was not happy, and you can imagine. Speaking of East Coast, if you're in Connecticut and you want to watch your team play, that game won't start until 9:20 your time.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I suspect productivity in most of the businesses in that area will dive the next day. Everyone will be dragging.
Well, the only place in Connecticut that will be lively at 9:20 is the establishments.
That's right.
Yeah, let's be real.
That's real. You got it, AJ. All right. So I'm reading a lot of things, AJ, speaking of the men's tournament, that the women's tournament was better than the men's tournament this year.
It was. 2 words. Caitlin Clark. 6 30-point games. 6. There are 6 tournament games, fellas. She had 6 30-plus point games.
What did you think about Iowa got whooped? Well, they made a comeback, but they still lost by like 17. They were thoroughly beaten yesterday.
Yeah, they were. There was a turning point in the game. I don't know if you caught this, Jack. I don't know if you watched it with Margot yesterday.
No, I was working, but I would sneak peeks and see.
Caitlin Clark picked up a 4th foul.
Yeah.
Or no, she picked up a 3rd foul and a technical for staring at the ref. Said nothing. Just stared at the ref and said nothing.
Is that what the call was? That
was the technical.
The technical is just on the referees, but the judgment, they can call it for anything, really.
I suppose, but staring.
I heard the LSU coach bumped a ref or pushed a ref or came in.
Yeah, she bumped a ref, all right,
and didn't get a technical.
No, she didn't get a technical. No.
Well, that's the tail of the tape, then. Obviously, bump all you like, just don't look at me while you do it.
Right. Right.
They scored 102 points yesterday, LSU.
Yeah, well, I saw when they had kids come in off the bench and they were drilling threes. I thought, this is going to be a problem for Iowa.
Yep.
What do you think about the quote unquote controversy about Angel? What's her name? Reese.
Angel Reese
doing the.
Giving
Caitlin Clark some of her own medicine.
I'm not gonna knock her for it because Caitlin Clark did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm gonna say is, you won a national championship. You don't need to do the ring gesture. I mean, did you see that, Jack? Or no?
I did. I didn't see it. I did see it, and then they were talking about that, and she mimicked. Something that Caitlin Clark did this to another player earlier.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
but that's all fair. But the ring gesture you don't need to do. Yeah. Plus, if you're LSU, how much trash you want to talk to Caitlin Clark because she's only a junior, so she'll be back.
That's true too. I don't know if you saw it, but one of the really good players for LSU pointed to her finger as time was running out, like. Not giving her the finger like she get a championship ring, and and that kind of caused some.
But like they said Caitlin Clark is not draft eligible. I'm like, oh boy, she's going to come back with like 40 per game next year. Oh boy.
Yeah,
that's how Jackie Mason got in trouble on the Ed Sullivan Show. A finger for you, and a finger for you.
Right, exactly.
Jackie Mason.
There's a Jackie Mason reference on the show.
That's
right. I've been saving that one.
I have more in favor. We should get more of those.
By the way, Jack, one more college basketball story.
Okay.
Hunter Dickinson has entered the transfer portal.
Okay.
From Michigan. The person that every Wisconsin fan does not like. I'm not going to use the word hate because that's a strong word.
I hate him. I know.
There was an April Fool's joke that said Hunter Dickinson is now transferred to Wisconsin to be Steven Crowell's backup. I thought that was pretty funny.
What do they call that again, AJ? The transfer tunnel?
Portal.
I feel like if I go to the doctor and he's like, we have to talk about your transfer portal, I've got problems.
And I want to give one more thing. I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Tyrese Hunter. This
Loser.
week. No, I know. Not for that reason, Jack. This week he declared for the NBA draft.
He did?
Yes, he did.
You thought he should have stayed.
I know, but I'm not going to knock him for it.
Okay.
After what he said. After what he's been through, I'm not going to knock him for it.
True. And you shouldn't. I mean, everybody makes their own decision. But here's the thing. Let me ask you. There's still now, you can declare, and there's the amount of time that you still can.
He hasn't signed with an agent, so
you can undeclare too, which is good.
So he maintains his eligibility.
Uh-oh, the dogs are loose. We better wrap up the sports report.
Who let the dogs out?
Well, sound of the barking dog.
We got opening day today, fellas. Don't forget about that. For all you guys, and my advice for you guys who are going to opening day: if you're going to opening day, enjoy the experience. Don't do anything dumb. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the experience. Don't run on the field, do a proposal like the Dodger fan did the other day. Who got crushed by security, but don't do that. Don't do anything dumb.
I'm hoping Morgana shows up. So, remember Morgana?
Morgana, yeah.
She's not alive anymore, is she?
I think she may have passed. We'll have to double check. Yes, in all of her buxom glory.
Double being the operative word.
Well, AJ, thank you so much for the report today. Hopefully we'll get your audio patched up. I should come over there and put up a whole setup for you or something. That's what you need.
Yeah, you should.
Right. I'm gonna make that happen. That's actually not that hard. So we'll
AJ, the list of what he should do is so long. Because the stuff that he should do and doesn't. So
he should do and doesn't, like eating less pork.
Jack, I appreciate lunch the other day. It was really nice. It was nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. We had a good time talking about Bulldog. I mean, talking about the show. It was met some of your crew over there. That's good. Nice people.
Yeah, nice people. So it was good.
I smoothed them over. I bribed them with cookies, Bulldog.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Yeah. That's usually, you are a closer.
The Jimmy John's humongous cookies. We're not talking.
Nice.
We're not talking.
A wagon wheel.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, AJ, take care. We will see you tomorrow around these parts, I hope.
All right, well, yes, you will.
All right. See you, AJ.
Take it easy. All right, AJ Bocchini with sports on a Monday. Mondays are always a big day for sports because weekends are where everyone gets over sporty. So we will talk about that on a Monday. And there we are. Cool. So there we are. Moving on to our next topic. I guess I'll start by showing a video. You want me to just go cold on that one?
Sure.
All right, I'll do that. Hang on, I got to get it all squared away here. Here we
are,
folks.
This happened on Saturday.
This happened. And away we go.
Oh, that fucker's thick. That's what she said.
I like the freeze frame. That's where that is. That's your back cover for your next book. Oh my God! There we are. Wow. So that's big. It is the arrival, the hard copy. That's what she said. Arrival of your debut novel, and there he goes. Wow, he offended himself. He's heading. This.
I had to be careful. Blackie decided to join me up here, so I got to watch where I'm stepping.
Oh, right on. There we go. Yeah, don't.
Yep, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Yeah, back up a little bit. Back it up. Bingo! There you go. Guardian Devil by some guy. Yeah.
By this guy.
This guy right there. Debut fiction novel. Mostly fiction. I read it. I've read half of it, and I'm like,
Bulldog.
This main character, yes.
Did you see the shadow? Rob Helf did a brilliant job on the shadow.
Oh, very nice. No, it's great. Yeah, I mean the design is great. They always say cover design is half the battle. It is good to write the book too.
Yes.
But cover design is half the battle.
That's more than half the battle.
So now available.
Yep. Now on Amazon, you can get it in Kindle or paperback.
Get the hard copy. It's more fun.
It is more fun. You can make.
And if you want Jack to autograph it, you don't want him writing all over your Kindle. That's weird.
That's right.
I got my copy in the mail as well, so I'm very excited. Wait a minute. Oh,
Horror
wrong,
times 10.
wrong one.
I expect like the old Letterman thing when you threw that book back, I heard the shattering glass.
Here in the sunroom, my landlord would be thrilled. Man? You opened up your debut novel. What was it like? Are you going to Disney World? What's going on?
Well, it's a weird thing. You can't believe it. And like we had Terry Sweet and Kelly Dupuy Schmidt on last Wednesday or the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
And you showed where Kelly was open. That moment, and Terry said that moment, you just can't describe it. And it is weird.
Yeah.
When you finally, it's like, is it really real till you order it and get it?
Yeah.
And then it's here and you're like, holy shit, what do I do now?
Yeah.
You know,
what next? Well,
Yeah.
I guess it's official. I'm done.
Right. Right.
I
Well,
want to do a rewrite. Wait a minute.
there's a Stephen
I've
Pressfield. You're familiar with Stephen Pressfield?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he has a good story he relates. He had a friend, and when he was writing his first thing, there was no self-publishing. You couldn't if no one would pick you up, and he had to type everything on paper. So everything, he typed it, and he went and told his friend who was like his mentor, his writer, and he would have coffee with every day. He went over to have coffee with him and said, "Hey, big news!" And the guy goes, "What's that?" And he said, "I finished it. I finished my novel."
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Good. Start another one."
How nice.
He said he didn't even look up from his coffee.
What a nice moment for you.
Yes.
I'll get to work.
Yes.
Well, let's dwell on this one for a little while, and I'm going to do my best CBS Sunday morning here. And so pretend I'm not Bulldog. You're not allowed to call me an idiot for the next 16 minutes. I know you can do it. So what's the inspiration behind this thing? Going way back, because you've been working on this for some time. Do you know the actual first word you wrote on this thing? When that was?
I do. The thing that it wasn't the main character, the hero, and not like hero in action figure. There's a hero in every story, as you know, as a writer. But I came up with the, I guess, I hate to call him, I guess he would be a supporting actor if he was in a movie, but Donovan, he was first. I came up with him, and I couldn't shake him. He was a vision in my head. He was growling at me and swearing at me and calling me a lunkhead and all kinds of stuff. And
I know the feeling.
But all from a place of kindness and empathy and care. So
every time you call me a moron on the show, it's from a place of kindness. I know.
It is. I don't call just anybody a moron.
That's true.
from 8 to 9. After that, everybody is.
All bets are off.
Right. So he was first, and then I knew. People say, "Oh, well, the lead character Clark is in advertising," so everybody's like, "Oh, is this an autobiography?" Clark is much nicer than I am, and Clark
I noticed that about him.
He's very thoughtful about stuff, but there are some things. I think you always draw on what you know, but the magic happens when you draw on things you don't know, where you just have to put it out there. And about feelings, and there's a lot of things about feelings and emotions in this book. It's not Animal House. It's not like that. It's like, how would you describe it, Bulldog? You read it.
Well, it starts out as a character who's obviously having serious life, fork in the road type moments, and kind of needs that gentle push to the next phase. I mean, and everything's kind of coming unglued for him. I mean, it seems like his business is kind of in a spiral. His marriage seems very questionable. His kids are nice.
Yeah.
But
got a good dog.
Yeah. But it really is kind of that, just. I think all of us, none of us really know. We know what we want, but we don't know what we need. And so that's really almost the theme of the book, it seems. It's like, he thinks he wants one thing, and he certainly doesn't think he needs this Donovan maniac in his life. But in fact, in some ways, he probably does. So, which actually leads to an important question for people. Everyone wants to know, what's this thing about? Give me the log line. Give me the pitch. And it's timed on this one, by the way.
Okay. Well, the log line is this.
Don't mess with me.
There's Clark Wells is one miserable son of a bitch. That's the the main character.
Are you sure this is an autobiographical?
He is in a, I guess the word disabled would be, he's in a slump. It seems like he's slumping at work, he's slumping at home.
It's middle age. It's middle
like
age.
It's like, what? This doesn't happen to me. How did this happen?
Yeah.
And then he gets a lifeline, he thinks, from his best friend, who gives him a call out of the blue on a Sunday and says, you should come back to Madison. And that's where he still lives. That's where they went to school. That's where they hung out. Because in Madison, on Friday afternoons in early spring and early fall, it's spectacular. Right on the lake, there's a great setting at the Memorial Union. And as beautiful as the weather is, it's like a carnival of crazies. Yeah. It's just great.
As the kids say nowadays, it's pretty lit.
Yeah, it's lit. It's lit as shit, I would say. And so he's like, I don't know if I can make it. He's like, you loser. He basically taunts him into coming back. And it happens to be his wife's brother.
Yeah.
So, and there's so he ends up going, of course, surprised that his wife not only allows it, but seems to encourage it because he's been such a loser to be around for recently. And then this other gentleman enters his life, larger than life, not quite a guardian angel by any means, more like a guardian devil, and that's what the name of the book is. So he makes this trip, and he finds out things that you didn't expect to find out, and has fun when he doesn't expect to have fun, and is miserable when he expects to have fun. There's a lot going on. There's also a bit of romantic intrigue in here that has a twist. That's the concept is, you think you know who your best friends are, and you can be a little bit wrong, but in this case, he was way wrong.
Yes.
So that twist adds some juice to it, but there's always got to be drama. I mean, someone just going and finding themselves, that story's been told 1 billion times. Oh, yeah. What good is that? It's how you tell it. It's the characters. My son, who was in theater quite a bit, first time he read one of the earlier drafts, he said, I love the characters. The first thing he said, the characters are compelling, that's in it. So I guess you would call it a character driven, but there's still a twist in the plot that makes it interesting.
Absolutely. So let's talk process. And again, you didn't quite answer my initial question. How, and people want to hear this. How long did this thing take to get to where you're at today? I mean, give us the full, the whole dirty tale, the entire, it's not just like a week or 3 weeks. You've been working on this for a long time.
Well, here, I'll tell you, it's hard to say exactly, but I can tell you I started on it in 2005. I haven't been working on it all that long.
Exclusively, yeah. Right,
exclusively. In fact, I thought I was a typical writer. I came up with this, wrote it all out, wrote this thing, had a completely different title. It was called, at that time, the term backstory was not as widely used in every phase of life like it is today. It was kind of an unknown thing. So I thought backstory would be a great thing. And actually it was called, I could put backstab story was the title, which I thought was good, but it was ruined by all the backstory everywhere. But it starts in 2005, and I wrote it, got it out of my system, thought it was fucking great. I sent it to a friend of mine who had some professional readers, who I thought, they're going to be saying this is the greatest character since Atticus Finch, blah, blah, blah. They send it back and say, it sucked. It was just too much this and too much that and not enough this. And I was crushed. So I literally put it in a drawer for like 5 years. And then it was like a horror movie that the drawer started thumping. It was like, it was like,
kill it.
What was the thing where the horror movie where they buried the person alive? And that's like it was Vincent Price deal. Anyway.
Sure. The oblong box, I think.
Yeah. Well, this thing wouldn't die, and it got a hold of me. I had stuff going on in my life too, so it was tough to get in a frame of mind where you could do it. But then I realized that it was very therapeutic to do it, so I cracked it back open. It's like one of those things. I don't have time for work. How can I have time for another project? Right. But if it's important, you make time.
You make time, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to. So that's what I did. And so I would say then the first rewrite was took me 6 months after that. And then by that time I had met a writing coach who was instrumental in really helping me sharpen up the story and gave me so much help and guidance and tough love that it was right on. And she recommended that I she goes, have you had this thing edited? And I said, well, yeah, I've had a person at the office. She's really good at catching punctuation stuff. She goes, no, I'm not talking proof. Do you have a story editor? I'd never heard of a story editor before.
Yeah.
And she recommended one. And so I still have not met him, but I used his blurb on one of the blurbs in the back of the book. Steve Parolini, he goes by the Novel Doctor. And he was great. Very helpful, made me see things and he did it in a way, not like the first time I got the torn to shreds. This was more like, there's some promise here, but you got
some function. You're waiting. It's funny because when you get a bad review or a good review, neither one, especially when you're in the development process, someone saying I liked it or I hated it does nothing for a writer. What we want to hear is, okay, if you hated it, what would make it better? Or if you liked it, what would make it great? And so it's kind of, you want nuts and bolts type stuff.
Right. Exactly right. And the thing is now, I'll get to that in a minute because hang on to that about what people think about it. And then, she really helped me fast forward to trying to find an agent. You can't go to a publisher they send these things. Publishers won't take manuscripts
unsolicited anything. It's too dangerous for them because of all the how litigious our society is. So
right. And that's how it is damn near like the same thing with an agent. And I was like, it's going to kill me. I'm going to have an agent do this. I got this thing done. I got this fucker's ready to go. And I couldn't get, sometimes if you get a response from an agent, it's not a form letter. It's amazing.
Jump for joy.
Right. Yeah. So I was stuck on that and I was putting all my writing time. I set aside every day time to write or work on the business of publishing the novel versus work stuff. So all my book time was used in frustration trying to write and find an agent.
Query letters and stuff.
Query letters. Oh, I hired someone to review my query letter. And so that's when I was at that point. I was like, ugh. So I was talking to you. We were meeting on a Sunday, and you, for the only time I can ever remember, gave me some good advice. You said, "Do you
don't get used to it, man."
Yeah, I'm not. I noticed that was the one time. It was a one-off. Do you remember what you said? I was telling you about I couldn't find an agent, and I wanted to find an agent.
Knowing me, it was sort of like, well, then just do it. Just get it out there. Self-publish it. That sounds like something I would probably say in that situation.
You said the exact quote used, which I love, is you're being too precious with this. You said this is like one story. You said if someone does, if this thing ever would get published, and someone liked it and have developed a following, the first thing they want to know is what else is a guy got?
What else you got? Yeah, that's screenplay training 101.
And I was like, well, I got a bunch of stuff that are in development, which is like,
wrong answer.
Yeah. So I thought, fuck. So at that moment, right then, I said, that's it. I vowed I was going to do an agent. Sometimes you have to. You got to figure out and find another way. I did. I said, screw it. Those agents don't deserve this. I'm going to self-publish this. And even that self-publishing process takes luck. For me, it's hard because I'm not a dot the T's and dot the I's even.
Hey, your book has some of the best dotted T's.
Yeah, I know.
By the way. It looks awesome.
So, yeah, Annette, who works with me in my main real life in marketing and advertising, she is just an awesome project manager, and she has her skinny hands can do whatever Amazon needs because you go through. That's what I did. I self-published through Amazon. Yeah. They call it KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. Right. So they publish it, which means if you put it according to their format, you set everything up, and then they will print on demand, which is something you don't have to order a big quantity of books. Right. It costs you more on a per basis, but you still have to get it out there. So that's what it is. So it came out on last Wednesday. I got noticed that the Kindle version was ready. That was cool. But then they had something about the cover, some minor template thing. And I had Rob Helf, who's a great graphic designer here in town. He does all the Cedarburg paintings that get auctioned off every year for the Greater Cedarburg Foundation.
Very good.
He's worked with me as a graphic designer for a long time. He did a hell of a job on the cover. And he's like, I got an idea for the cover. I said, good. He goes, like, you want to know what it is? I said, nope, just go do it. Because
Right.
I have so many times people say, you trust someone who's got talent to go and do the thing that they're really good at, and then you overrule the thing they're really good at, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
So he's the one who came. I had no idea he was going to do the shadow. He completely came that, and that's the thing that everybody remarks on right away.
Yeah.
So that like, even Bulldog, you told me that probably 2 or 3 months ago. Then you got life, and so you're doing other things in real life, and then the actual process takes proofing. I got asked Carluna jumped in and read the book for me and made some points. It was just, there's no one person who does you don't write a book alone.
No,
I don't care who you are. There's just too many. I look at the first draft where it's unrecognizable from where it was.
Sure, absolutely.
So now the thing is, you had mentioned, what if someone says, if you don't like it, tell me why. I haven't. So I pushed it out to all these people I know and said, buy one and write a review, because writing reviews is so critical on Amazon. Get some reviews going. And I haven't heard anything. So I don't, it's like, I wonder if people like it. And the thing is, I'm at the point is, I hope they like it, but it's out there. There's nothing you can do except for
it almost doesn't matter at this juncture, because I mean, if you get a good review or a bad review, it should have no bearing on today, that being your current novel. Mean, which I do hope is currently in development. I would hate to think you're stagnating and working on it all weekend.
That's why when you said I worked all weekend. If there's a work like this, it's like the weekend disappears. So the next book I'm writing is called Terminal Love, and
good title.
Yeah,
we're both divorcees. We understand that completely.
Wasn't there a movie, The Gay Divorcee?
Oh yes, absolutely.
So that's where I am. That's what I'm doing.
Awesome.
You said you'd be able to do an author thing at the
we're going to work on that, absolutely. And this actually leads into Linda will love this, a library event just this week. The first Wednesday of every month, we do our brand new and improved writers group at the library. Wednesday night at 6:30 in our community room. We used to call it the CPL Writers Group, but we have elevated things. It's now the Cedarburg Authors Circle.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
Because we're not screwing around. There's writers groups out there, and there's people who have brought half a draft. No, we are intent on writing to be read and then being read to be published. That is what I'm hoping to do with this group. The thing I haven't unveiled to the group yet, only because we're really small, we just started out, but we will grow, I'm sure, over time, is that I want to get these writers to be reading their material on our radio station, on CPL radio. So that actually we have, it's like we're going public as fast as, I want to fast track people to sort of do what you're doing, where you finally, because it took you almost 20 years to get to where you're at now. And I think there's a way of doing that faster. I think you can actually, if we remove all of the second guessing and self-doubt and is this the right, just let's get that crap out there. If people love it, awesome. If they hate it, good, go back and do something better. That's the idea of Cedarburg Authors Circle. How
many times have you read writing is a lonely deal? I mean, it's just you and the keyboard, but like your writers, author circle, is that what you're calling it? The author circle is an opportunity. I was in a writing group. I mean, yes, and people can relate, and they can make little suggestions that make a world. Sometimes you're stuck on something, and all you need is that little. Yep. Even if you don't agree, it makes you think of something else.
Makes you think of it, exactly. You won't always love everything you hear at the author circle, but I guarantee you'll take it into account.
Yeah.
At some point, it will get buried in your craw, and you'll be driving. You'll vehemently disagree with all of us at the meeting, and then 3 days later, you're driving around or in the shower, you're like, shit, they're right.
Yes. Yeah.
The worst thing ever, and yet the best thing ever.
It is the worst and the best. I would say that's a definite thing. So that really helped a lot to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm doing also, speaking of that, reading Pressfield again. He has a great book called Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit. And I highly recommend it to everyone. He writes books for writers as well as his novels and historical novels. But one of the key things was, he said you could, like, you know this because you're a screenwriter, start at the end. You know what the end, usually when you come up with an idea for a story, you have the climax in your head. You know what it's all leading to. So start there
Yeah.
and then work backwards.
Reverse engineering is one of
Yes.
the best things you can do. Yeah.
And at first, like, that's freaking crazy. Who could ever do that? But it makes perfect sense. And that's what I'm doing with Terminal Love. That's how I'm doing this one.
Nice. That's
So
good because you have absolutely.
I'm completely going in on that.
Very, very cool. Awesome. Well, we at least, I don't know if you're busy Wednesday because Carla Luna, or Colin, however you want to call it, does show up at the author circle. And if you're available, you should stop in because then we'll have 2 published authors. How many book groups in this area have 2 published authors in attendance? So come on down.
I will be there Wednesday
cool.
at 6:30.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Okay. We're there. And that's the show, everybody. That was a busy Monday.
AJ was on fire.
He was burning up. But yeah, I should really find a way to get over there. I could set him up with a proper mic, and there's a way of doing that would maybe solve some of his problems. So if he continues to have problems, let's do that.
Well, it's been more and more and more.
It has
frequent.
Yeah. Maybe talk to Doug and see if I can get in there and just there's some ways to sprucing up his setup a little bit or something. So
yeah,
cool. All right. Well, that's what we'll deal with that off camera. And anyway, have a fantastic Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Hopefully, Lisa Curtis will be in attendance.
Yes.
Excellent.
So she's here whenever she can. If she can't, it's but not because
it's understandable.
Yeah, she does a great job. She does a great job with the news and just bringing the laughter. Man, she is a funny lady.
She definitely makes Tuesdays. I usually walk away from Tuesdays hoarse and with an aching stomach. So it works out well. Have a good Monday, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow on the Jack Henke Show, 8 a.m.
Little Shirley to you.
Be here.